Hello, my name is Amara Eze, and I'm going to be talking about the issues of warehouse overstocking in the steel tube manufacturing industry. I'm going to talk about the challenges of this. I'm going to analyze it and provide solutions. My agenda. So I'm going to first talk about I'm going to introduce the topic, then analyze the industry, identify the problem, make the problem statement, then give three possible solutions that I recommend, then evaluate those three options and and recommend the best one out of them and give my conclusion. First, introduction. In the steel tubing industry, many times it's always cheaper to make a specific type of pipes, mostly the round ones, because probably it's cheaper and then they can make many without much costs to the mills. And this causes them to have so much of the products or of the specific grade and no customer is buying it, and then these tubes end up being rusted and it's costing additional it's increasing the cost of the storage, and sometimes when they have to get rid of it they have to pay workers overtime. The industry analysis. Based on this, the threats of new people entering the warehousing industry of steel tube is low to medium. That's why my point is between low and moderate. Then the buyer power is high, the supplier power is high, the industry rivalry is high, and then the threat of substitutes is moderate. I'm going to explain all these better in the next slide. So the threat of new entrants, it's low to moderate, and this is low because most times companies don't just easily go into um, the warehousing, the steel tube warehousing business because it's expensive and then you need a large facility, and it's not something that like it takes time to go into it. And then I made it kind of it's moderate because some companies that are already existing that already have the space can easily go into it. So that's like the chances of that happening is moderate, and then the chances of new people happening is kind of low. Then the buyer power. So it's high because um, large companies they can negotiate prices with. They have many um, people that provide the services of giving warehouses that they can choose from. So their power is high because one um, if one third party doesn't give a good price, they can always go to the next one and they might probably get the price they're looking for. Then the supplier power. Um, it is high because these are like the people that are in the suppliers are like real estate companies or like all those huge storage facilities. And then in areas where they don't have much space, like the popularity of a steel warehouse is not much, the suppliers have the upper hand because the companies don't have any other where to go to except from these suppliers. Then the threat of substitutes, it is moderate because because of advances in technology and WMS systems, warehouse management systems. It is more flexible to uh, run this business. And then also there are also limited substitutes to having a traditional warehouse system. Then the industry rival is high because many third-party logistics providers they offer like storage solutions. Then many times the companies that manufacture them can store these tubes in-house and also outsource if they want. so the industry rivalry is really high. So in this slide, I'm basically going over what I said earlier. Threat of new entrants is low to medium, moderate because it's low because it's very rare for it's hard it's going to be really expensive for a new company to just go into storing large steel heavy steel tubes, and then it's moderate because like some companies that already have some kind of other warehousing provisions can just decide to venture into also storing steel tubes. Then the buyer power is high because large companies can negotiate with different suppliers on because they have so much steel, and then everybody would want, if they have the space, they will want to get them as customers. So they can choose the supplier that has the best price for them. And then the supplier power is high also in limited regions because the companies don't have any other options than to use those ones. And then the industry rivalry is high because large number of third-party logistics providers are offering like the same storage solutions. And third of substitutes is moderate because there is a limited substitutes for traditional warehousing when it comes to storing steel tubes. The problem identification. So basically, this overstocking happens when the steel tube companies, they produce more of the grade of steel that is cheaper to produce, which is mostly the round, long ones. And then they have so much that the supply is more than the demand. And these tubes sit in the warehouses for like months or years, and they get rust. And then it gets to the point where they can't sell these tubes anymore because they've lost their values, and then they have to like scrap them, and that's like basically a loss to the company. And to get rid of them, they have to pay workers overtime to stay back and help them declutter the warehouse. It's basically like a really bad thing for the company. The problem statement is overproduction of steel tubes of particular grades, diameters, and lengths causes them to sit in storage for too long, leading to rusty steel bundles, making them undesirable by customers, which causes financial losses. Solutions to this problem. My first option is improving inventory forecasting. So the company has to analyze the market needs and make sure that the demand and the supply match. And doing this, it reduces excess production, freeing up space and minimizing product deterioration. Option is using warehouse management systems. So these systems, they optimize the storage to track inventory and reduce clutter. This improves the tracking and utilization, lowering labor and external storage costs. Third option is outsourcing excess inventory storage. Um, they outsource like non-essential inventories, products that they don't use often, to third party, and keep the ones that they get more demand for in-house. Evaluating these options, the first one, forecasting, it's effective, but it is dependent on getting the correct data from the market. And then the second one, it has high initial investment. They have to train the staff on how to use them, and they have to buy the software, pay for upgrades. But on the long run, it is very efficient. Then the third option is outsourcing. It's flexible, but it adds external costs and reduces internal control. Recommendation is the warehouse management system because it's the best balance of cost efficiency, savings, and then long-term benefits. Tube manufacturing industry, they waste lots of money on producing a particular grade of products, and then these products sit they rust and no customer buys them, and then it causes a loss to the company. To prevent this, they can use warehouse management systems which improve inventory control and reduce costs. Adopting it enhances profitability and customer satisfaction. This is my references. Thank you.